This is a little bit of a different episode of the Jake Fletcher Show. I have two cameras going on right now, so for anyone on the Instagram live, you probably won't see me looking at that camera. I'll be looking at this one because this one's going on the YouTube. I figured why not do two things at once? Why not kill two birds with one stone, get two birds stoned at once? One of my favorite Ricky-isms from the Trailer Park Boys. And the reason why I'm doing it Instagram Live is because I figured that I can put the YouTube version on later on tomorrow on YouTube, but people on my Instagram can get the sneak peek at my new podcast episode before it drops and hear me out. So, usually I have guests on the show, but I also do just myself every once in a while when I got something to say. And I got something to say today. All right. So I wanted to tell you guys a story and tie it into a greater lesson, okay? So on this episode of the Jake Fletcher Show, the theme of this episode is your excuses are ruining your potential life. Okay, so the life that you potentially could be having is being ruined, it's being destroyed by all of these excuses that you're making for yourself, and not only excuses that we objectively or directly consciously make or tell ourselves, but also the subconscious frameworks that we've created in our minds about who we are, what our life is, what our life can be, can't be, what our innate abilities, possibilities, capabilities, competency, all of that stuff. That sort of framework that we've set up in our minds of who we are is limiting us, okay, in most cases, because most people have the incorrect thinking of setting up negative frameworks in their mind, okay? So I'll give you a quick example. A lot of people will say to, let me go ahead and make my phone quiet here, vibrate. Okay, so a lot of people will set up a negative framework in their mind, such as the following. So, man, I really want to start a business. I want to get out of X, Y, and Z, whatever dead-end job or something like that. And I want to, start my own business, be an entrepreneur, and start making more money, right? Okay, well, what do you need to do that? You need to do step A, B, and C. And let's say step A is you need to go to school to take whatever courses. Step B is you need to save X amount of money for startup costs. And then step C is that you need to actually eventually take the leap of going full-time into that job or line of work. All right. So they'll set up in terms of the going to school thing. Oh, I don't have the time. I have work all day, and then I get done with work and I'm too tired to, let me turn my volume down here. I think it's peaking. So they'll say, I'm tired at the end of the day. I don't have enough time. When I get home from work, I'm just too tired to take online classes or do this or do that, right? So that's negative framework number one that they've established in their mind, that they're not able to, after all the stuff they have to do, quote unquote, throughout the day, once they get done with that stuff, they're not able to do that extra work because they're tired, right? So that negative framework has already been established in their mind and is preventing them from achieving that goal of starting their business, right? Now, step two, we said, was that they needed to save some money. Oh, well, I'm barely making it as it is. I'm living check to check, week to week, day to day, and I just can't save enough money for the startup costs. Trust me, I've been there. I know how it is. I've pinched pennies more times than I wish I could count. So, I get it. I feel you on that. However, are there little side jobs that you could be doing? Could you be doing some freelance stuff on the side? Could you be picking up some extra shifts? Could you be picking up another extra job or gig or something to help you make a little extra money? Can you be cutting back on your spending a little bit? How much are you eating out at restaurants? How much are you, splurging on certain things, right? This is not saying, hey, you need to change your whole lifestyle forever. It's saying, hey, if you want to save up those startup costs in this theoretical example, where are some areas where you can trim the fat and where you can add a little bit of extra income into your life, right? To make up that savings. But that negative framework of, oh, I don't make enough as it is, I'm barely making it, I'm week to week, that's a negative framework, okay? That's a structure that you're creating in your mind about not being able to have the money to do the thing that it is you want to do, in this case, starting a business. And then we said step 3 was actually taking that leap of faith to step into full-time activity in whatever business it is that you're wanting to start. Let's call it a photography business. So let's say you're working at a restaurant, right? Because that's something I can relate to because I used to do it for many years. And eventually, in order to free up your time to do more photography business, let me get my cat down from here. He's shaking the whole desk. You big kitty. So in order to actually have the time to do more photography gigs, you're going to have to stop working in the restaurant so much, right? So there's that leap of faith where you have to go from being safe and secure and making X amount of money per week or whatever, working at that restaurant, to making less money and being able to have more time, though, to build that business, right? So the negative framework that'll often come there is, oh, well, what if I fail? What if you fail? Then you're right back where you were, okay? Go get another restaurant job or go get another job, and maybe you'll be making more money at that next job. So the thought of failure, the fear of failure is often that number one negative framework that people set up in their minds, okay? Now, I want to tie all this back into, like I said, I wanted to make a story out of this, relate a story into the overall episode here, the overall theme, which is that your excuses are ruining your potential life. Okay, so the other day I was at the gym. I was at Orange Theory Fitness. I recently started going back to the gym because I got vaccinated, and I was like, hell yeah, here we go. It's time to do this thing, right? And even that right there is an excuse, right? Obviously, being vaccinated or not is maybe it's a better excuse or not, but it's still an excuse, right? So calling my own self out on my own bullshit, right? But I was running on the treadmill, as you do at the gym, and I look in the mirror and I see a girl sitting on the rower behind me, okay? And she was fit. Like, this wasn't day one for her in the gym at all. And next to her on the next rower over, guess what she had on that rower? She had an inhaler sitting on the seat. She had a little towel laid out with the inhaler and some other things, who knows, probably like her phone or maybe an EpiPen, I don't know, right? But that got me thinking. That was like, damn, like, what is my excuse? What's your excuse? What is anybody's excuse when homegirl's over here with the damn inhaler next to her on the rowing machine just so that she can make sure that she can work out and stay alive? So I found that to be extremely just encouraging and an amazing sight, almost like one of those things that you just freeze frame it in your mind and save it for later. Because like I said, this wasn't day one at the gym for her. And somebody who has that bad of asthma, that they're an adult and they have to carry around an inhaler, a lot of those people are probably going to set up an internal negative framework of like, oh, I have asthma, I can't actually work out because, whatever, X, Y, and Z. And it's honestly, it's up to you, basically, right? That's the moral of the story. Let me just save this real quick because I just fucked up. But we're good. We didn't fuck up too bad, right? No excuses. So let me take off this jacket too. God damn, man, it's hot in here. All these excuses. So, so the main point here, though, is, imagine all the things that in your life that you want to do, right? And then imagine the excuses that you tell yourself of why you can't do those things, right? Now throw all that shit out the window, right? Because at the end of the day, you only really, like they say, you only have one chance at this. This is not a dress rehearsal, okay? So what if you fail? What's the worst that's gonna happen? If the answer isn't that you'll die, then you need to do it. You need to stop making those excuses and you need to start taking steps towards that thing, okay? Because at the end of the day, you don't have to take one giant step into doing that thing, or becoming that person, or being who it is that you foresee yourself being, right? I'm sorry if it's shaking a little bit on Instagram Live there. That's just the setup that I have right now. But like I was saying, you only need to take one step at a time, okay? We only need to get 1% better every day. We only need to just keep trying and keep pushing. That's all that's expected of you. And that's all that you should expect of yourself, right? Because anything else, expecting to go from zero to, the absolute greatest possible example of what it is you're trying to achieve overnight is unrealistic from the start, right? So the one of the keys is to also have realistic expectations, right? We don't want to have unrealistic expectations, first of all, and by unrealistic I mean something that's not based in fact or logic or what's actually possible, right? But even if it's somewhat fanciful, right? Like, what about those people who, they might say, oh, well, what if my goal is to fly, right? Oh, you can't fly, Jake, Well, tell that to these motherfuckers that invented jetpacks and shit, and now they're flying around lakes and stuff, right? So yeah, okay, you're not a bird, you don't have wings, but my dude is clearly flying right now, So dream big, dream within reason, and maybe a little bit past reason, right? If that's your goal, if your goal is something that is even hard for you to imagine accomplishing now, as long as it's within the realm of something that's actually possible, go for it, man. And then take one step at a time, 1% better every day. And as you get closer to that goal or closer to that place that you want to be, that achievement, you'll start to have a clearer understanding of what it's going to take to actually get there and what you're going to have to actually do. Okay? But stop making excuses, because the excuses that we tell ourselves and those negative frameworks that we set up of, oh, this is just how I am. Oh, this is just me. Oh, it'll never be better. Oh, it'll never be different. Oh, it'll always be like this. Oh, da 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 da. All of that negative internalization and that negative dialogue that we create with ourselves is killing our dreams. It's killing your potential self, okay? All of us have where we are right now, here today. That's who we are in this moment. And then all of us also have a greatest potential self. And in real estate terms, we call that the highest and best use, right? So the highest and best use of a property is what improvements can you make to a piece of land that will generate the highest return on your investment, right? What's the type of property that can be put there that's going to generate the highest return for that type of property? So in terms of being a human, what's the highest and best of your potential self, right? You have a lot more in you than you think that you have, right? I love the David Goggins, I think it's like the 40% rule, where he says that once you feel like you're tapped out and you've given everything that you can give, and you're like on the edge, on the edge of the cliff, you're only at 40% of what you can actually do. So there's a whole nother 60% there. And, I think that's true, man, because there's been times in my life personally where I have felt like, oh, that's it, I'm fucking done. I can't do this. But I keep pushing, and then come to find out, yeah, I was able to do it. I did it. And now here I am on the other side of it, looking back like, God damn, that was crazy hard. But I'm glad that I kept pushing, because now I'm here. Now I'm where I wanted to be. And I had a hard time before even imagining being there in the first place, right? So, so many people also have been through way worse than you and done way harder things than what it is that you're trying to do. So why not you, right? Why not you? Somebody's got to do it, right? Somebody has to be that person. Why can it not be you, right? So break down these negative frameworks, stop with the excuses, kick those excuses to the curb, and instead of having those negative frameworks that we establish, replace them with positive ones, okay? This is a super, super important key of all of this. You can't, life, okay, let me relate it to this. Like in terms of physics, right? There's energy and it can't be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed, right? Or transferred. Okay, so when we try to destroy these negative frameworks, something has to happen to that energy, right? It has to be transformed into positive frameworks. Okay, so let me give you another example. We'll go back to our former scenario where you're working in a restaurant and you want to start a photography business or a videography business or whatever it is that you want to do, right? So we set out those 3 steps, right? You needed to start taking courses, business courses, whatever it is. You needed to save some money and you needed to ultimately take the leap. Okay, so that negative framework number 1 of needing to take some courses, we said, oh man, I don't have any time. After I get done with my shifts, I'm just so tired, man. Restaurants are such a grind. I agree. Restaurants are a grind and a half. I used to do it for years, right? Chill out, cat. Psst, chill. Psst, Jasper. He's not going to listen to me. So the negative framework is, oh, I don't have time. I get home from work. I'm tired. I just don't have time, right? So instead of that negative framework, instead of just saying, hey, man, stop telling yourself that. Instead of telling yourself you don't have time, start telling yourself, hey, I need to find some time, okay? And then start analyzing your schedule, right? So you can maybe find half an hour before your shifts here, a half an hour before your shifts there. Maybe after you get off from work, you do a half hour before work, a half hour after work for an hour a day, right? So this is just an example to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. But the point is that, where there's a will, there's a way. There's a solution to figure out the answer to the problem. Hey, psst, shh, Jasper, stop. Psst, hey, get down. Chill out, cat. I have the animals in here with me. So, figure out that solution. What is it going to take? Hey, stop. I'm recording something. He doesn't care. Another thing that I wanted to mention about this is, kind of like what I alluded to a second ago about getting through to that other side and looking back and being like, damn, I did it, Hold on. Jasper, stop, dude. Stop. Get down. Freaking cats, man. So, looking back at it and being like, damn, I actually did that is an incredible feeling. But in addition to that incredible feeling, what happens on that other side is not only are you more confident now because you're like, damn, I'm the man or I'm the woman. I did that shit that even I didn't think I could do, but I pushed through it and I pushed through it and I took the pain and I took all of the shittiness that came along with it. And now I'm on the other side and I'm a certified badass. So not only are you more confident, but you're also more confident, okay? I didn't mean to do the rock on, but we're rocking on, all right? So you're also more competent now because guess what? You just learned a whole bunch of skills. You just learned a whole bunch of stuff about yourself, about how you work, about how you're able to push through things and push through those boundaries of what you thought was possible and so on and so forth. So you're way more not just confident, but competent. You're more competent than you ever were, okay? So when we push through these things, when we stop creating these negative frameworks in our mind, when we stop creating these, these negative inner dialogues with ourselves, we stop with the excuses, we cut the bullshit excuses out, we replace them with positive affirmations, solutions to the problems, positive frameworks, then we're transferring and transforming that negative energy into positive energy. And when we push through it, we're going to come out on the other side better than we were and more confident than we were. And when you're better than you were and you're more confident than you were, you're going to start attracting other people, like-minded people to you, and they're going to be like, damn, here's this person who's dope. And, they've got X, Y, and Z to offer, and I want to get involved, right? So now you're going to start attracting basically higher level, higher thinking individuals around you than before, than when you were on a lower level of thinking. It's just the facts, ladies and gentlemen. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Anytime that you're feeling like you can't do something, or you have an excuse for this, an excuse for that, negative framework for this, negative framework for that, make sure that you start recognizing that in yourself, okay? Make sure you replace those negativities with positivities, okay? And, ultimately, you need to know that you can do it. You might not be able to see how you can do it, but rest assured that if you put your mind to it and you keep pushing through it, eventually you will be able to see how you're going to be able to do it. And always think back and remember the girl on the rower with the inhaler who was fit as fuck and had no fucking excuses. She was ready to row her ass off with the inhaler right next to her. Okay, so, anytime something that is hard comes along and you feel like, oh man, this is hard, I can't do it, what's your excuse? You got homegirl with the inhaler next to her on the rower, and she's busting it out while you're over in the corner crying like a baby. All right. So that's all I wanted to say today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Jake Fletcher Show. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. If you're watching it or listening on anything else, please make sure to follow, leave me a review, follow me on Instagram at jake.miami, and I will drop my information below for anything real estate related worldwide. Reach out to me and I will take care of you like family. That's it. Sell smart, buy bold. I'm out. Peace.